Today we are going to discuss a topic because developing communities of opportunity is what we need. But the question we need to ask is, what is really poverty? We know that millions of people live in communities disconnected from opportunity. In the African continent, as we speak today, over 257 million citizens across the continent goes to bed hungry every day. 620 million citizens are energy impoverished, currently spending the little they have to put food on the table. It's literally from hand to mouth circus. Nothing to save or to even make them move forward. These are the realities most of us found ourselves in when we were growing up. And it is the current day today dispensation as we speak today. But we must differentiate between material poverty and emotional poverty because we seem to mix the two always. Is lack of resources equals poverty? Poverty is not a linear discussion as has been made to be in this part of the world sometimes. My point is very simple. Poverty is beyond just material. The biggest poverty is mindset poverty because it is not temporal. Material poverty is not a permanent condition nor an indictment on anyone who sees it so. Between someone who lives, say, in a village but has their farm where they dig and get bumper harvests that ensures that there is no lack of food, no debts, and another pays 200 and lives in a city and has to pay rent, buy food, pay transport, and at the end of the month, the question is, who is poor? Traditionally, across the globe, we understand that poverty is benchmarked as being a life of living on less than $1. That's okay. But what I'm bringing is this measure sometimes negate the true measure of net worth, and especially from the African context. This has been yet another notable lesson of COVID-19 reality, and I will use an example here. While many in Africa may not afford to spend up to $2 a day, the totality of their lives in terms of nutrition, good health, social support structure in form of community far outweighs sometimes any benefit they would gain if all these were to be substituted with only $2 a day. Our grandmothers in the villages may be living in grass-thatched mud wall houses, but they grew up growing their own food. They grow their own food, they rear their own livestock, they draw fresh water from the rivers which they boil for domestic use. They breathe fresh air from the forest, among key fundamental needs to guarantee a healthy physical lifestyle. They couple these with a very strong social structure in the community to enhance their emotional health. And they enjoy all these with no debts. Quantifying the material, physical, and emotional net effect of such a lifestyle that our mothers live in villages will likely yield a positive net worth. Okay. On the converse, a white-collar worker in any city in the continent may be a salary worker able to afford more than $2 a day. But at the end of the day, they live in cramped apartments, in crowded cities with little fresh air. They finance their lifestyle through debt sometimes. Natural food being too expensive may mean they resort to fast food, which sometimes is unhealthy from time to time. The social support system in the cities is low as many people mind their own businesses. That's a fact. That's true. At the end of the day, such a person lives a life that is both physically and emotionally unhealthy. And quantifying the material, physical, and emotional net effect of such a lifestyle will likely yield a negative net worth. So what's my point? The lesson is simple. We must leverage on the totality of our strengths to devise solutions to challenges we face. Because the biggest poverty is mindset poverty, believing that we do not have what we need to do something. Mindset poverty is what I call emotional poverty, which is far worse than material poverty as it disables the inner self. And lack of self-belief is the worst form of poverty. And enlightening scriptures warn us that as a man thinketh, so is he. We are what our thoughts dwell on. In most cases, we lack in self-belief. We do not believe that anything worthwhile can come from our efforts if we do not have money alone. But we forget to know that it is value that brings money. That if we can be able to build value, to retool our skills, we can be able then to exchange that value for money. And that's my message to the young people of the continent today. You are what you need. Your biggest premium is your skill. You can live yourself from the current material poverty in which you are today if you have a mental state that says you are able to do it. And that way, opportunities will be created. Poverty cannot only be discussed from lack of material. Poverty is more a mindset issue. Let's defeat it. Let's put poverty on the run and prosperity into the cockpit of progress. Yes, we can, because it's possible.
East Africa, west to south, Central Africa, yeah. I can see the youth standing up, using their talents and skills to change challenges to opportunity, using the power of innovative volunteerism, which is